Former Speaker Denny Hastert, who has a rule named for him, and this is, we've talked about it over the past couple of days, the majority of the majority, bringing forward a bill. Don't bring forward a bill unless the majority of your own caucus supports that piece of legislation. Talked about that going forward on Brian Kilmeade's radio show this morning.
Here's the problem. You know, maybe you can do it once or maybe you can do it twice. But when you start making deals where you have to get Democrats to pass the legislation, you're not in power anymore. When you start passing stuff that your members aren't in line with, all of a sudden your ability to lead is in jeopardy because, you know, somebody else is making the decision. The president's making a decision, or Pelosi's making a decision, or they're making a decision in the Senate. All tax bills and all spending bills under the Constitution start in the House. When you give up that responsibility, you really give up your ability to govern, and I think that's the problem.
Charles.
Look, Hastert's exactly right. It explains what happened to the Republicans in the battle we've just had. Once the caucus was split, once they went to Plan B, which was Boehner's attempt to get around negotiations with Obama to find one position that the caucus could all agree on, increase taxes only on people over $1 million. Once he was unable to get his own caucus to pass it, all power drained away from the House. It shifted over to the Senate where the deal was worked out, and by the time it returned to the House, the Republicans had no room to maneuver and no time, and they had no choice. I disagree somewhat with Tucker. When they took the vote on January the 1st to approve the fiscal cliff deal, it was already, technically, taxes had already been raised. So it was over. The fight was over. If they had done nothing, you would have had the taxes going up on everybody. You would have the blame on Republicans. And I would actually commend Boehner and Paul Ryan, who in the end voted yes for a bad deal, but they had to do it, for some courage, knowing it was a deal that was really awful, but there was no alternative, and being in the leadership, taking a hit rather than letting somebody in the back benches have to do it for them. But they have to be united from now on. Once they split, as happened right now, all power will devolve to the President and the Senate and Pelosi, and they will